Kawaii Fox News. Now, you've seen the title, so let's get down to the dirt. You enter into a library or a bookstore. The smell and texture of paper gently flooding your senses. You're here for one thing: mystery books. You slowly walk through the aisle, books encasing you on both sides. You notice something peculiar as you look at all the books. On some of the covers and spines, no, most of the covers and spines, there are cats. Black cats, white cats, long cats, short cats. Pictures and drawings. Most mysteries are full of cats, especially the murder ones. Though most mysteries you will see will probably be murder mysteries. Let's be real here. Strangely, there are never any foxes. Why do cats take the center stage while foxes aren't even on the menu? Part 1. Cats. The symbolism of a cat goes back to ancient times. In Norse mythology, there was a goddess named Freya, and she had a connection with cats. She was actually often depicted with a chariot pulled by super big cats. Not like lions or jaguars or anything, just house cats, but sized up super big. I always thought that was pretty cool. She was both a fierce warrior and a goddess of love and prosperity. If one thought of cats back then, one would think they were a symbol of beauty, perhaps. In Egypt, the goddess Bastet was goddess of cats. Though she was originally depicted as a lioness, she eventually came to be depicted as a cat-headed woman. She was the goddess of protection as well as a goddess of fertility. People in Egypt often believed that taking in black cats would have the goddess favor them. This belief actually also reached England, where black cats were seen as good luck if you took them in. Then, Christianity became a thing. A really, really big thing. And those in Christian power had it out for the cats. In the 13th century, cats, especially black cats, were declared satanic, and the witch trials followed in England. Of course, the witch trials occurred overseas in America too. Tragic occurrences that put many innocent women to death. Very sad story if you look into it. This sentiment about cats, especially black cats, still goes strong today. A huge reason why black cats aren't adopted like the others, because they were declared satanic in the medieval era. Cats are still seen as spooky, witch-like, and mysterious creatures, only amplified by their natural ability to hide their sickness and pain, as well as their stealth and gracefulness as a small predator. Well, are they mid-sized predators? I don't think so. I think they're considered as small-sized predators. I didn't look that one up. I know. I haven't covered all of the religious and colloquial. Colloquial? Is that how you say it? Saying it is a lot harder than I thought it would be. The other video, I say yes, make it seem so easy. Okay. I got this. Colloquial ideas of cats. But the ones I have shared with you are some of the big main points on why we see cats as they are today. The conclusion for this are cats are seen as mysterious. So, they're on the covers of mystery books. But wouldn't foxes actually be a better fit than mysterious witch-like cats? Part 2. Foxes. We're digging down further with our shovel, making the big hole. And we're looking at the fox side of this story now. Foxes are not always thought of with a negative deceiver connotation. I don't know how to properly pronounce these names right, but I will try, okay? In Akmawi, Atsugiwi, and Miwok tribes that lived relatively in and around modern-day California, silver fox and coyote are actually divine figures who created the world. Silver fox was regarded as the more serious and wise one, while coyote was the trickster. It's very interesting because of how we see foxes in modern. Foxes were actually seen as wise spirit guides in Celtic folklore, allying themselves with humans. Aesop was either a Greek writer or a poet. I don't really remember, but an author nonetheless. Aesop wrote many fables called Aesop's Fables. A very creative name. Now, one in particular was about a fox and a crow. Here, Fox was a swindler, tricking the crow and taking its food. But in Japanese Shinto mythology, the god Inari is associated with foxes. Primarily, Inari is a rice cultivation god. Inari was also depicted differently depending on who you asked back then. Sometimes as a woman holding rice, sometimes a man riding a white fox. My model is not a white fox, by the way. My model is an albino fox. See that my tail tip? It's not black like a white fox's? Important distinction. Foxes were seen as messengers of Inari and could bring good luck. This leads into the kitsune from Japanese folklore. These were yokai, or supernatural creatures. Kitsune were known for change and shapeshifting. Sometimes there are two types of kitsune. Ones that are good and ones that trick. Silent Hill have used Nari and Fox imagery quite often. It's a very great game, by the way. I would really recommend it. But only if you're not of the faint of heart, because it is a horror game. So, in the ancient world, in different societies, foxes were seen as wise, or a force that one would not yet know held bad intentions or good intentions. But, in a crazy turn of events, not only would foxes be declared as demonic in the 13th century, just like cats, they were also associated with witches in the same way cats were. The only difference between the belief of how the two animals acted in medieval times was that foxes were more sly and prone to trick people. So, can I ask you again, why are cats the mystery motif? Foxes are seen as cunning and deceitful. Wouldn't that be perfect, absolutely perfect, for the culprit of a murder? Looking into the past hasn't yielded us the results we wanted. So I think we must stop digging this hole and get out of it. Instead, look for the grass. The answer you seek might be more modern than we think. Part 3. White Men. One of the first film depictions of animals at the side of villains was the 1935's Three Musketeers, with George Arillis playing the villain, who was Cardinal Richelieu. Richelieu? I'm sorry, I didn't know how to properly say that name either. I'm gonna go with Richelieu. Cardinal Richelieu was actually a real French dude who lived a really long time ago and famously loved cats. He had around 14 cats and had actually several paintings done with the cats. So, to reflect this, the villain in the Musketeers had a cat. Because the Three Musketeers continuously showed a villain with a cat, other movies began to follow suit. James Bond, Bolt, and Pokemon all have examples of a villain with a cat. It's crazy how it spread. It became a TV trope called the right-hand cat to a villain. Admittedly, it would be pretty impractical back then to use a fox as the companion of a villain. Hard to domesticate, as I mentioned in a previous video. It would probably be pretty expensive, too, to have a fox on set with a trainer. So, a cat became what a villain had. This 1930s trend is what I believe made cats the go-to animal for mysteries. The TV tropes bled into the books, because not all media is in a vacuum. People will come away from media with different ideas and can place those ideas in different forms of media. And it's just how our brains work. We take stuff away from fiction and from reality. The first movie, The Cat as the villain in the 1930s, is what I believe made the cats the go-to animals for mysteries. Mysteries are about figuring out what happened and catching the culprit, otherwise known as the antagonist or the villain. I can also, by the way, this model, I can also become super, super tiny, like I could in my last model. Look! Watch, I can do it. I'm super tiny, look at me. I'm so tiny. Okay. Sorry, focusing up. We have one more part to go. Part 4. So what? To me, the important part to take away from learning this is that foxes should be brought to mystery books. I mean, they'd be a perfect fit. The cat trend needs to break. It's been extremely overused, don't beat a dead horse and all that. So, the fox must rise. Historically, Christianity gave both cats and foxes the same stigmas, so they should have equal share of the spines and covers of mystery books. Only seems fair, right? Anyway, would you like some modern examples of how foxes are treated in media? As a little funsies extra, I'm gonna throw in. A modern example of a good fox would be the spirit guardian of Elena of Avalor, as well as the fox in Shrek. And an example of tricksters would be Robin Hood from the old Disney animation, and some gingerbread man stories. Of course, there's Zootopia, which attacked the trope of the trickster thief fox, and Kung Fu Panda, which did the same. There's also Fantastic Mr. Fox, which you can actually watch on YouTube. But it's also not a movie for the faint of heart. I know. I mentioned a whole lot of Disney media and Disney movies, but it is a corporation that makes cute animal movies, so, I mean, not much I can do there. It is a mega corporation. It is what it is. That is all I have for you today. I'll see you later, freaks.